Hello, welcome to a new episode of Mostly Engineering. I'm Mario and let's talk about the lathe. So let's talk about my mini lathe, which is a Proxxon PD 250E Precision Lathe to be precise. And I want to start with the decision process and the requirements I had to the machine, so that when I talk about the pros and cons, you know if this applies for your use case as well or not. So, how did I make the decision to buy this Proxxon lathe? What, to be fairly honest, isn't the cheapest option you have. So basically, as a prop and model maker, I need a machine that is very good suited for small and delicate parts, but also has a potential to make slightly bigger parts. So the fine ones you can see, for example, in our Enigma build project. And for this type of parts, lathe we have in the workshop, what is an MCO Maximal 11, is already a little bit too big to manufacture these parts comfortably. So I needed a smaller lathe. Also, I needed a smaller lathe because this has to fit in my living room workshop. And being a one-room apartment, the lathe can't dominate the space because it has to work as a living room, as a bedroom, and everything else as well. So size was very critical and in the end also decisive criteria. Now, the second point is that this lathe is a business expense. I need this for my job as a model and prop maker. So that also means I need a machine that works from the go. I don't have time to fiddle around with it a lot to bring it up to specs. The first projects have to be paid projects and not a lathe restoration project. They're really fun to watch on YouTube, but if you have to make money, it's not okay. And also I need a lathe where if something breaks, replacement parts has to be really easy available here in Germany. Because let's be honest, if something breaks, it's always on a project where you already have a tight deadline. And then I have to go online, order the part, maybe bite the bullet and pay for express shipping, but the part has to be here in 1 or 2 days. And if you have an old used machine, maybe it's a really beautiful machine. Usually they are really beautiful. But going on eBay hunting for the right replacement part, what may take weeks or months, not an option. Ordering replacement parts from China would also have maybe 2 or 3 weeks of shipping, is also not an option if you have a tight deadline on your neck. And the second point with being a business expense is that taxes play a role. As a business, you get your validated tax back, and you then also have to write off the machine. And this means I get, in Germany, value-added tax is 19%, so I get a 19% discount, so to speak. And then over the next years, while writing off the machine, that reduces income tax I have to pay. So what I pay at checkout is not what I pay in the end. And these tax benefits completely destroy the price advantage a used machine in this size category has. So that are basically the decision requirements for the lathe. So what do we have? So first, if you are looking for a small lathe, what comes to mind is the infamous Chinese mini lathe. Nice and cheap and readily available, but even it's called mini lathe, it's already a little bit too big to fit the space. And also, you don't really know if it's up to specs. If you get it, you might have to spend some work. And again, maybe replacement parts take a lot of time to arrive. So it's 600 euro, but and therefore nice and cheap, but not really an option there. Next point are the beautiful machines of Emco, and I used to learn how to turn on an Amco machine, so they have a special place in my heart. But yeah, for Amco we have to make an exception of the don't buy used rule, because here the machines, the small machines, are no longer manufactured by Amco, but replacement parts are still manufactured, and most machines you also buy again from professional sellers. So you have an invoice with your value-added tax, and you can write it off relatively easier. What you don't have if you buy it used from a private seller, what is the most case for these small lathes. So yeah, we have the advantages again, even so it's a used machine. And my absolute dream, to be fairly honest, would have been an Amco Compact 5. But to be fairly honest, a Compact 5 is already a little bit too big. It would fit the space here, but just barely. And then where to put the tooling, where to put the measurement equipment, materials, and so on and so forth. So, too big. And then the smaller ones, the Unimarts, you have the really old ones, really nice, beautiful looking machines. Too small, and then you get the replacement parts issue again. And you have the more modern Unimarts, what are still a little bit too small, and the price you have to pay for them is, for what they are, too expensive. So in the end, the only manufacturer left here in Germany was Proxxon. And Proxxon has the advantage that they make kind of the mid-size lathe between the mini lathe size and the watchmaker, purely model maker lathe size. So the mid-size we have here, that fits the space perfect, and the parts we make perfectly. Also, and knowing Proxxon as a tool manufacturer who makes nice tools, I was sure that getting the machines, I'm able to get usable parts without fiddling around much. And then replacement parts are really easy to get for these machines here in Germany. So yeah, these were the decisions that led me to buy this machine. So let's go over to the machine. I talk you to the features, what I like and what I don't like about it after using it for a little bit more than a year now. So, and here's the machine, and I'm not going to bother you with the specs because I'm relatively sure you know them already. Now, size-wise, is a really nice and compact machine. Given the measurements, you have to keep in mind that you need a little bit more space here in order to access all the wheels, and you need about 25 centimeters more on this side so that you can open the lid and get access to the gearing over here. Then the important measurement, of course, is how big of a part can we reasonably be working on. And so we have the tailstock all the way to the back. We have the life center. And so the distance from the life center to our chuck is 21.5 centimeters. Keep in mind, if you have the 3-jaw chuck, you lose about 1.5 centimeters more here. And then when the tool is all the way back, the distance, yeah, it's all the way back. The distance from the tooltip to the center is 2.5 centimeters. So you can work on a part that has a 5 centimeter diameter. So reasonably large piece of metal and suitable for most circumstances, at least what I'm going to do. So, and let's take a closer look. And first I want to show you how true this lathe runs. Very important if you, for example, have to rechuck a part and you still have the need for the features to be more or less concentric. So, and let's see how true this thing runs. So for the test setup, I put a 3mm pin in our collet chuck, made sure that everything is nice and clean, and then I push the test indicator against it. I know it's not the perfect type of indicator for the job, but it's the best I can find. So it has to do. And now if we turn the spindle, we see the needle moves, yeah, about 500ths of a millimeter, a little bit less than that. And to be fairly honest, for the parts I'm going to do with the machine, that's good enough. It's especially good enough if you keep in mind that I put basically no effort in putting the chuck on. I just put it on, tighten the 3 screws, and then call it a day. So right out of the box, that's a pretty good result. And if you take a lot more care of it, I'm sure you can get better results than this. So, and let's test the alignment of the tailstock and the spindle. And to test this, I put the live center in the tailstock because it has this really nice pointed cone. And in the spindle, I put an engraving bit because here we have half a cone. And when we turn it on, it turns into a full cone as well. And we see that both tips are in a line with each other, and we can't really see a step in between. And this tells me that the tailstock and the spindle are in one line with each other. And there might be a little bit of a step in between, but I can't see it, and this is certainly good enough for my taste. So let's talk about the pros and cons of the machine. And overall, I have to say I'm absolutely loving it. Now here, as you can see, we have the collar chuck installed, and if you get the machine, it of course comes with a 3-jaw chuck, and this one is nice. It also comes with the reverse jaws, but if you work on a lot of small and delicate pins, I can definitely recommend the collar chuck. Makes life so much easier. Then let's go over to the tool post and the cross slide. And when you get the machine, of course, it comes with a stupid tool post holder and some shim material. But yeah, like changing tools there is just a pain in the ass. And when you order the machine, you should order the quick change tool post with it. Makes your life so much easier. And if someone from Proxxon watches, you should include this with the machine as standard. Even though it makes the machine maybe 50 euro more expensive. At this price point, it won't matter anymore, and the perceived value will probably be much higher than this. Then we come to the tooling. Again, you have to buy it extra, it doesn't come with the machine. But I have to say, this tooling is like really nice. I'm cutting brass with it, mostly brass, a little bit of aluminium and a little bit of plastic. With this tool since over a year, I never had to sharpen it once, and it still cuts brass like butter. So really nice and sharp, and it really stays sharp. Really nice over here. Then a little bit further down, we have the solid tool post, and this is of course self-made, and you can watch the video on the channel. When you get the machine, it comes with the compound slide, and this one is nice, I guess. I never really use a compound slide. Really nice, but yeah, if you don't use it as I do, I would recommend you. Solid tool post gives you a lot more room over here and increases the rigidity of the machine by a lot, and therefore your surface finish while cutting. Now here we have the first minus point of the machine, and you see the way cover, and this is absolutely necessary because the ways of the cross slide they are really nicely and tightly machined, but they are machined out of aluminum, and yeah, I wish this would be made out of a more durable material. But the point that really drives me crazy on this machine and is really annoying are these wheels. And first of all, you have the scale, and it's hard to read. It's really hard to zero, and the finest increment you have here is 500ths of a millimeter, and for Precision Lathe it should be better than this. And then, as you can see, the wheel is actually really loose, so it moves on its own because it's also out of balance. And let's set it to 0. And you can see that this is our backlash, and this is over 0.2 of a millimeter. And for precision lathe, that's not good enough. Of course, you can probably dial it in to make it a little bit more tighter, but what I did to get around this problem is I made this indicator holders, and now I can read off the movement of the tool directly. And this is a much more precise way anyway, because backlash will always be a slight problem no matter how fine it's dialed in. So, and lastly, let's talk about the tailstock. Now, you already saw the nice alignment of it. It also comes with the live center, so really nice over here. And the only thing that really bothers me a bit is that this scale is really hard to read. I'm not entirely sure if you can see it on camera. And when you put the scale actually to 0, like so, the taper is already way too loose. So to secure the taper nicely, you have to move it out by 5 millimeters. And so if you ask me, the scale should be offset about this amount. So, and while we are watching this machine in action, it's time for some final thoughts. And the big question, of course, is now, would I recommend it or would I buy it again, even so it's on the more expensive side of lathes in this side? And for me, the answer is clear yes. And if you're on the market for a lathe, I hope this video proved useful for you to find your decision, even so it was not the kind of normal review you would find on the internet. So please let me know if it did. And if you have questions, comments, as always, let them down below. And I try to answer them as quickly and correctly as possible. And all that's left to say now is thanks for watching and see you at the next time. Bye bye.